Hi, my name is Tien. Here I am presenting my project Exporosity as the new learning typology for RMIT Docklands Media Precinct. The site is located at the waterfront city and adjacent public places in Docklands such as Harbour Town, Marvel Stadium. However, the site is lacking of the connection with the surrounding context as it seems not to have an identity and recognition because the site is restricted by the metal fence and activities for public. But with the advantage of the location such as opposite to the harbour town, public transport convenience, the site has a huge potential to become a spot for studying, playing, and range of different activities and events to students as well as the community from daytime to nighttime. Based on the site analysis and the feedback from mid-grid, I look at back the behavior of the theater and palace typology to find the better strategies to improve my design, especially for the roof identity. The behavior that I am interested in the theater typology is the transition of publicness and privacy, circulation loop, the program arrangement, and the porosity of the stage, where people can focus on it at every corner of the building. So I decided to remain the porous condition of the stage in the final outcome. The circulation is also another element to define the fluid movement of publicness and privacy. So the kaleidoscope system was also reapplied in the final stage of the development when I decided to restart the whole project. For the experiment on the palace typology, I used the result of the experiment to apply on the roof by disorientating the roof in z-axis and range of scale in order to transform the roof into a habitable facade and create a different access within the building, which my project lack of immediate presentation, as well as using as a guideline for designing the landscape of the building. With all the feedbacks from mid-grid, I used the mid-grid outcome as a designing guideline, and I raised the questions for myself. What am I lacking for my design? What are the ideas behind the porosity? What is the spatial quality of the new media precinct? So, all of the answers and questions become a guideline throughout the whole final design process. Starting with the base form of the theater typology, which I remodeled some part of it based on my analysis of this type, I split it into two parts, the roof and the base. By reusing the kaleidoscope system to transform the base form split it into three blocks which represent the three main zones of the precinct, while the crowd condition was remained open as a welcoming to public. The circulation of the building remained the condition within the building as a loop which creates the transition from ground to top of the building and act as a core for the building circulation. The ground floor was pushed down become an underground amphitheater for multi-event and use. Lastly, the roof is processed as another part of the building in which firstly to create the shelter of the building, secondly to transform it into a habitable element penetrating in the building to create a formal learning space for students. Finally, it also acts as an identity of the RMIT Docklands Media Precinct, which the level of publicness is defined by the level of transparency. This means the more transparencies of the roof and facade, the more publicness is. The landscape was designed as a welcoming space to public before entering the eventful, joyful media precinct. The transition of the publicness and privacy in program arrangement can see clearly in the longitude section, which the whole atrium become a public spot where people within the building as well as outside the building can observe and see what's taking place within the building, while the private programs are lifted up and set on both sides of the building. The cross-section is to show the habitable facade was brought back and developed further in the final outcome, which I missed in the mid-grid. In addition, the condition of the stage of the theater typology can see clearly in this section where the stage is porous and exposed to both public and private. Turning to nighttime, the building is lit up, which makes the building full of vitality, as the events can take place there at any time and any days during the week, which creates the life of 24 hours for the building. The ground floor plans include some of the public programs of Zone 1, 2, and 3, such as Game Production Zone, Student Lounge, RMIT Connect, and Cafeteria. The main entrance of the building is located at the main entrance to the Dockland Studios, where there are adjacent car parks for public. The Explorer staircase is exposed as a greeting to people to the media precinct. The second main entrance is on the Pear River Road, where we can see the open workshop on the top floor connecting Zone 1 and 2, and the landscape becomes a multifunctional space such as market events on the weekend, play space for kids, outdoor workshop space. The second floor plan's program's arrangement is for the private use, which including green screen studios, VFX control rooms, classrooms, and learning portals. The view is to show the central hall where people gatherings to exchange knowledge to improve the connection with professional realms, events, and exhibition. Moving to the micro elements, these show how people from inside can look out to the central hall for learning observation, as well as to engage students with different activities taking place within the precinct. The workshop and lecture space is a connection of Zone 1 and 2 as a community bridge for community events, private use such as teaching and workshops. Lastly, the visualization of different use of exposed arena is used for learning activities for media students in daytime, but thoroughly transform it into an event space such as esports event at nighttime. As the name of Exporosity, the combination of porosity and exposition creates the new building typology for new RMIT precinct, which we can see how porous and exposed it is to public and private. Exporosity is the new future RMIT Docklands Media Precinct, where people can learn from each other, the place for modern learning and studying. Exporosity will become a place for enhancing the connection and knowledge of students with the professional realms through the series of exposed programs within the building. An exposed and porous learning environment will engage the public to involve, where we create the harmony life of Docklands, enhance the identity for the building itself, as well as the site and community of Dockland region. Thank you.